Oh, good.
I think we're recording now. We good?
Are we on?
Sibilance. Ain't nothing higher. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to Wingin It, the West Wing Podcast. My name is Andrea. Typically, I'm joined by my friend Sallie. She is currently gallivanting over in Europe at the moment. But in her stead, I've brought back Miss Sarah Johnson.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm back.
Yay!
Did you miss me?
Sarah's back to talk about all things West Wing.
I am.
And we are here to talk about Season 3, Episode 4? 5?
6.
5?
5?
6? Wow.
5.
Samsonite. I was way off. We're talking about the episode...
War crimes.
Thank you.
You're
I got
welcome.
really
War
confused for a
crimes.
second there. Heavens to Betsy. War crimes. All right. Well, welcome back, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
You're so welcome.
I
thought about having you on my I was going to say Gilmore Girls podcast, but then there's already a Gilmore Girls podcast, and I don't have
I got really excited.
I know.
For a second. It's like,
I want to get, you know what? I need to call up Kevin because I want to be on the Gilmore Guys podcast.
You should.
He was on
be.
my podcast. It seems only fair.
I don't think there's anyone better suited for it.
And
than
I am a Gilmore girl.
you are.
I'm Lorelai.
This is so
Anyway,
true.
sorry, this has nothing to do with that. Okay, so welcome. We're going to talk about war crimes and the main things that happened in this episode. Well, there is this is like a terrible way to start.
Gosh.
There's a church shooting in Texas, which is...
Well, it's just kind of further proof that the West Wing has always...
it holds a mirror up to nature.
I want to say it's ahead of its time, but it doesn't matter when you watch it.
Timeless.
Yes, and not in
some
ways you
terrible
want it to
things
be.
about
I know,
life are
but
timeless.
it just is. And
Yeah.
horrible.
So that happened. There is a reporter that comes back from, I guess he was covering something in Myanmar for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy came back and has a quote from Toby, which is controversial, basically saying that if President Bartlett wins, it'll be on the vice president's coattails, which is bad timing because Bartlett is currently trying to ask Hoynes to go and speak in Texas after the shooting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Hoynes, President Bartlett tension in this episode. Other than that, Donna is being... She's being deposed.
Yes.
I never know the terminology.
Yes.
She's being deposed. And so that comes into play where she's under oath and then she happens to maybe lie. We're really not doing well on the whole telling the truth when we're supposed to.
It complicates things when you have relations with the person who is deposing you.
That's what you get for making whoopee, folks.
Exactly.
That's a Gilmore Girls reference.
Yes,
just in
it
case
is.
You didn't know it. Hey, it's like a secret.
Got you, girl.
Gosh, okay. And then, Toby... So
Toby.
We'll talk about Toby in a second. But then Sam, the whole episode. This is the Penny episode where
I kind of love Sam the whole time because it's ludicrous.
we always
we always love Sam.
and we love Ludacris.
But
Together, can you imagine Sam Seaborn and Ludacris in the same room?
Be still my heart.
I can't even.
Be still my
bring
heart.
pizza, and that's all I need in life.
I'm done. Game over.
Anyway, this is the one where Sam is talking to somebody about the bill, talking about eliminating the penny, which is, of course, one of those... I mean, it gives him a lot more dialogue than I feel like he's had
in a while.
Yeah. It's just not very substantive.
At all. I mean, it's kind of blatantly obvious in this episode how lacking of any substance it is whatsoever.
So... we're not going to say anything.
It's just
we're not going to make any spoilers.
I just love Sam. That's all. I do.
Yeah.
I love Sam.
We do too.
The end.
I love him more than the penny.
So much more than the penny.
You know what? Sometimes, this is the part where I start talking about pennies. Sometimes I feel like, the money that you have in your life you are entrusted with and that you should be careful of all of it. And that includes coins. And sometimes I look at pennies and I'm like, I could just drop that on the floor and it doesn't matter.
Sometimes I do drop them on the floor and it doesn't matter.
But I'm trying to be much more cognizant of that these days, is what I'm saying.
Me as well.
We're picking up pennies.
No penny left behind.
Oh.
And there is how we turn it, bring it back around. No. We give it a political message.
I could get behind the no penny left behind act.
Yeah, we can.
I totally would.
Johnson for America.
Yes. I would vote for you. Thanks. Can I be your deputy?
I'd vote for you. No, I'd vote for you, and I'd be your vice president.
Cool. All right. Well,
done.
Now that we've got all that planned.
I don't know. I don't do math.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should sing.
Oh, yeah.
5 minutes in, we haven't even sung yet.
Here we go.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
I feel like it's going to stop it.
Hold on.
Hold on. Can I do 2 things at once? No?
We're still here.
Warming up.
It's going to be the best one you've ever heard,
ever. Da, 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 da. We don't have to go.
Not going for it.
Drop down the octave. Manual fade. We don't do the whole thing. Now I did mention that somebody sent me you were here when they sent me the thing. They sent me themselves playing this and singing it.
On the guitar.
And actually
playing on the guitar.
And it was really good. I liked it because of what it was, but also he got one of the intervals wrong.
Totally wrong.
So he's not paying enough attention.
At all. And we're no longer speaking to him because of it.
That's not true.
Not at all.
Sarah's not. You never were. Okay, so anyway.
This is true.
This is why we got 3 stars from that person on the last review. Because they said we ramble. I'm sorry,
guys.
I'm sorry enough.
Well, it's my fault. Don't blame Andrea. Blame me.
It's okay. I'm going to turn this
podcast around. There's the gambler
and
the rambler, and I'm the rambler.
And I'm the gambler. Welcome. Okay, so what should we talk about in this episode? There were a couple interesting things that I thought were interesting and redundant. Mm-hmm. I'm not good with words today. There were 2 scenes where... Okay, so it starts with Bartlett coming back from church. Or at the beginning of the episode, Bartlett's coming back from church.
Yes.
There's a lot of funny stuff that happens there.
Yes.
They're like, how was church? And he says it sucked, which is funny.
It's
kind of.
Great. And then the banter between the Mr. and Mrs. President.
Yes.
Excuse me, Mrs. and Mr. President. is really fantastic.
Abigail?
Yes, Abby.
She calls him an oratorical snob.
She sure does.
I love. He's like, I am, and God loves me for it. And she says, I thought he was sending you to hell. And he's like, he is, for other things.
It's a nice moment of levity, considering how we started the episode with the church shooting and then the death of the child, and a little break in the levity, and a little, it made it very human and very, relationship-y, coupley.
Yes. He even starts singing Sinatra.
Okay.
Which, come on, any guy who sings Sinatra.
But what was the line?
I think it's "You make me feel so young."
But he said, "You make me egg foo young." And
what?
So that's what he said.
Sure?
He made a joke. Yes, it was a Chinese food joke. That's why I loved it so much. Because I was eating pad thai at the moment, which I realized is not Chinese. However, he said, "You make me egg foo young."
I really don't think he did. I don't think he was
Okay, guys,
Chinese.
We're going to need someone to answer this for us because I am 99.99.
Were they talking about
he was
Chinese
making
food?
a cute joke because he's Bartlett.
I really feel like you were just eating Chinese food. There's no reason why you would have said that.
Okay, maybe not.
Well,
we're going to figure this out.
We're going to have an addendum at the end of this podcast.
Feel free to send in the information saying Sarah's right because he says you make me egg foo young. Yes, he does.
That's absurd. Okay. I'm going to ask my friend Paul because Paul watches The West Wing and listens to the podcast. Hey, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
While he's reading the transcripts of the episodes like a normal human does. I'm sure we all have done it at different times in our lives. This is actually the part where he says it. We're just have it on the background, but we're not going to listen to it.
No, but guess who has the transcript right in front of her
right now? Great, well, you look that up. But the point I was going to make is that there were 2 points in this episode where someone in leadership submits themselves to someone lower in rank and asks if there's anything they can do to help them.
Yes.
So the homily, I guess, at the church service, This church service was Ephesians 5, where it's talking about wives submitting to your husbands and things like that. And that for husbands to love your wives as Christ loves the church. So it's talking about mutual submission, mutual respect and submission. And Bartlett asks Leo if there's anything he can do for him, which is just kind of a strange moment. And then towards the end, Toby does the same thing with Sam. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did, actually.
You're not just saying that?
No, I'm not just saying that. I did catch it.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I kind of wondered, what was going on in Sorkin's life when he, came across this? like, did that happen in his real life where someone was like, servant leadership? The whole servant leadership thing was
it definitely was a theme throughout the whole. They made a lot of.
It was cool.
Like, came back around with a lot of things for me, or had a lot of tie-ins in this episode. We have a JT reference because
back around.
How could you not?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Did he make a Chinese food reference?
He did. I have the direct quote from the transcript right in front of me.
What preceded it?
Let's see. Abby says, "I'm going to the residence. I'm taking a bath. I'm turning on Sinatra." Bartlett says, "How does Mrs. Sinatra feel about that?"
Wah, wah.
Abby says, "Peace be with you," and she turns to leave. CJ comes outside from behind Bartlett, and Bartlett says, "You make me egg foo young," except he sings it.
Wait a minute. That just comes out of nowhere.
Because he's Bartlett, and he's amazing, and he can make quick little quips like that, and that's
all I've ever wanted in life.
I know, it just makes them... I just want to be
a Chinese food musical
Sinatra pun.
Like,
exactly.
I don't want anything else.
What more could you want? That the president of the free world, with all the stresses that he's under, can make a reference like that and a joke like that off the top of his head to his wife. I loved it.
It's wonderful.
I love crap like that.
Oh, we all do. Mm-hmm. We all really do. Okay, so let's talk about the writer guy that came back.
Yes, from
Will Sawyer
from Myanmar.
You're in Mar. I was trying to I couldn't do it. It just wasn't there.
Close.
Yes. So, do you think they were trying to make it like a romantic?
Well, I couldn't tell because for a little bit I thought for sure something, and I didn't remember this episode completely. So while I was watching it, I kind of perked up a little, going, okay, wait, did something happen between the reporter and CJ? Because they kind of had a little sexual tension.
They made it super familiar.
Palpable.
It was super,
like they had a history. Maybe.
Yeah, there was a definite history of something.
But I'm not sure that they ever touched upon that. No pun intended.
I was like, whoa.
I meant the writers. Okay, guys, I meant the writers.
Okay, but yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a real thing or if it was just aimed to set up the story about Toby. Because he's the one who comes in and says, I have a quote from Toby.
Right.
Saying that.
I don't know, it all just seemed too personal for it to be nothing.
It did.
So.
But, you know.
You never know. Sorkin, again, all these questions.
It's true.
Sorkin.
So that's. And it's true. So the writer says that he was put back on White House press corps duty until he finds a real job. Which really, I mean, I get it because the way that they come back around to it, he says he was joking at the beginning when she asked him about it.
Well, and I thought she was making that reference in regards to Toby, how maybe he said it in like a joking type of way, and she was trying to prove a point. And be like, wait a second, didn't you say blah, blah, blah? And he goes, yeah. She goes, oh, okay. You know, in her like CJ way where she proves her point without actually saying, I told you so. That was the vibe I was getting from it, which again also felt very familiar and very almost bantery and flirtatious. And so I don't know. I could be wrong.
But then he makes a good point because he says, like, I don't like being a stenographer and I don't like writing gossip.
Right. He does make a good point. That's really all you're doing in that particular position.
It's tricky. And so he ends up not writing it. I mean, they could have saved the whole day.
Not even just been like,
hey, I'm not going to write it.
I mean, there was a whole big plot point for it to just be completely washed away at the very end there. He's like, I'm not going to write about it.
I mean, it was a good, like, surprise in the storyline.
Yeah, it was.
So
nice little character development thing.
And it brought about the whole thing with Toby. We have a great episode, a great moment with Toby.
Yeah.
Where he's not angry.
We don't have many where he kind of shows his vulnerability and his heart.
Yeah.
The way he did. Gosh, I love them all. But I love Toby because he can be very brusque and very rough. And even when he's paying people a compliment or he's being vulnerable, he's got that edge to him. But you see when his guard comes down, and in this particular scene when he's, gathered the troops.
Down in the mess hall.
Yeah, in the mess hall for whoever, spilled the beans when he said what he said and told Mr. Myanmar. He said, everyone, we're a team.
Yep.
And, if you don't like this team, there's the door. Like, we're a team from the president and Leo down. And how much he appreciated everyone and how he was there for them. And he got his point across while still being kind in his own Toby way.
Yeah, and not only that, but when he was done, he's leaving, and then he's talking with Sam, and he complimented Sam.
I know.
Just out of the blue, out of the clear blue.
I don't know what headspace Sorkin was in when he wrote this episode.
He does that, though, sometimes, Sorkin. Yeah. He does the, one really heartfelt moment, and then he doubles it up. It's like a double-stuffed Oreo of surprise.
Oh, well, I mean, what could be better than that?
Because he did that in another episode, where, there was something really emotional, and then I think it was the one with the turkeys, the Thanksgiving. And then he gives Charlie the knife. Yes. And you're like, we already had an emotional, wonderful moment, and you just gave us this extra one, and I can't handle it. That's kind of what happened.
All the feelings. Feels Sorkin. Sorkin feels. Hashtag Sorkin feels.
Okay, well.
That's a little...
we'll work on it.
That's not my
You can do that. I'll look on Instagram tomorrow and see how many we've got.
Everyone's going to be doing
that
it.
Hashtag.
Just you watch.
Oh, just you wait, Henry Higgins. Just you wait. Okay, well, Donna, we can talk about Donna and Cliff and Josh and Donna and,
yes,
golly.
Because, here, let this be a lesson to you all.
Oh, boy.
Don't take it from me. Not really.
Take it from Sarah Johnson, who you don't know, but exactly. I know.
Don't have relations with a person who's going to be depositioning you, or deposing you, excuse me.
Don't be indisposed with someone who's going to depose
you.
Wow. Date this.
I mean, you're setting yourself up for just failure, complete and total failure.
They knew that. They knew that.
Mm-hmm. They did it anyway.
They tried to shut it down.
Didn't work.
Did not work.
So
they're two good-looking people.
I know, and he looks so familiar. Excuse me, I did not.
Battle box here.
My computer just hit her computer.
Battle box.
He looked so familiar. I feel like I've seen him in something recently. I haven't looked up his name, but
he's been in
quite a few things.
Bunch.
I think. But yeah, so Donna was being deposed and was being asked questions that she was answering very honestly, as Donna would, and is then asked sort of this stream of questions that all seem kind of inconsequential and not really of any value to the subject at hand. Not even a penny. And she's asked if she has a diary, to which she immediately replies no. And they continue on, and then Mr. Ways and Means, Cliff, excuse me, asked them to repeat what was just on the record.
It was like a record scratch moment.
Exactly.
Hey, DJ, bring that back.
Because Mr. Cliff over here had it on good authority that she lied.
Real good authority.
Real good authority. But she had a nice little zinger when she called him out on it later.
But, I felt weird. I liked the scene where he's, waiting at her doorstep in the rain and an umbrella when she gets home, and he's, going to ask her about it. But it's kind of a weird mood that she has toward him, because he knows that she had a diary, because he saw it with his own eyes when they were together. And she's kind of standoffish, angry. We know why.
We know why. Well, Josh, that's why.
Okay.
Because she and Josh talked right before that, and guess what?
No. This was before. She talks to Cliff before she talks to Josh.
Oh, well, it's still Josh.
I think. I'm not sure.
It's always Josh.
It does always go back to Josh. But she said, what are you going to tell them? Exactly. You saw when you were looking for your boxer shorts?
Exactly. She goes, what do you want me to say? That you were hunting around for my diary while you were looking for your boxer shorts?
But, what is she trying
to... Mic drop.
What is she trying to make him feel in that moment? What... Is she trying to make him out to be the bad guy?
Well, I think... Yeah, I think that maybe she expected him to not... To call her out on it. Yeah. I mean...
But seriously, what... So why did
Don't do it, guys. Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Black Dana Carvey, don't do it. But why did she lie? Was it just instinctual? Or, I'm putting this on the table... Was she afraid, maybe on some level, that they might take her diary and make some sort of make it public for people who could read it, and that her feelings for Josh would be exposed?
Well, that's my hypothesis. I think that that's totally possible. The way she answered the question, though, honestly, I didn't think anything of it until he asked for the question to be repeated. I mean,
I think that's why she lied.
She said it so easily, but I think you're right, because she would have to complain about Josh, which... In a way, I mean, she almost had to anyway. But
yeah, so at the end of the episode, well, she has to come back and tell Josh this happened.
He was not happy.
They were already on bad terms.
Because he was jealous. Because she went out with Ways and Means guy.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah. He should have been, and he should have
Well, you know what? He can't
it.
just expect her to sit around.
That's true, but, you know, he could also be a man and step up and
all of these things are options. This is just a podcast. But basically, so he comes back and Donna tells him what happened. And then there's a funny moment where Donna, this is not really related, but Donna starts talking to Sam, and then Sam starts telling her random factoids about the penny, as Sam is prone to do about random things that nobody cares about, which I kind of loved. But then Josh, like, straight up yells at her.
Yeah, completely yells at her.
Why did you do that? And it's worse.
Emotions.
And you're really hoping things would get better, and they don't.
And they get worse.
But then at the end, Josh takes care of it, and he gets the journal, he gets the diary.
He takes care of her.
Yeah, he's taking care of her. He's also taking care of the party and the presidency, all in one fell swoop.
But he sits kind of
down
that moment,
next to her.
Yeah. And there is the moment with him and Cliff, or with he and Cliff, where, you know, he gives him the diary, but he basically is like, look, here's the deal. You handle this the wrong way,
I'm going to own you.
I've got these October 4th and October 5th.
She wrote about you.
And he's like, Cliff's like, what's that? And he goes, you.
Yeah.
So you kind of saw that moment where you could tell Josh, you know, didn't like that she went out with Cliff, and he kind of got his little moment with Cliff to be like, boy, back in your place.
But October 4th and 5th, like, is there was nothing incriminating.
No, exactly.
Like,
there's nothing. Unless it would have gotten him in trouble that he had been in any sort of relationship or relations with someone that was being deposed.
That's true. It would compromise.
Yeah, it would compromise the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, fair enough. So, Donna, Josh, Cliff, all sorts of those things going on. What else? There was Hoynes.
A lot of Hoynes and the president chit-chatting.
Yeah, they were talking all day.
Did they ever really come to a conclusion?
Well, I think Hoynes said that he would go to Texas and do the thing. But it comes out at the end of the day, and it's weird that they're there. Well, I mean, I don't know. It could have been mid-afternoon to evening, but obviously the sun is setting. Yeah. And it's a Sunday, so we get to see everybody in their Sunday clothes, which is always fun.
It is fun.
Josh and jeans, I'm just saying.
Josh and jeans.
Okay.
Hashtag Josh and jeans.
I'll take that hashtag. That's fine.
I don't know why I'm hashtagging everything tonight, but Josh and jeans.
You're so social.
I'm telling you.
But Bartlett and Hoynes... It comes out that Hoynes finally gets his moment to be like, oh, hey, thanks for the heads up on the re-election campaign thing. Found out on the TV. And he's like, well, my wife found out that way, too, and it didn't go over well, you know. So I think this is the last of the, hey, thanks for telling me MS moments.
Everyone knows now, I think.
I'm pretty sure.
I think we're there.
Maybe by the end of season 4, everybody will know.
I hope so.
Yeah. So that happens. And, okay, so we should probably talk about why it's called War Crimes as well.
That's true, yes.
It's kind of strange that was...
such a minor part of the whole plot.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly minor. Snuck it in at the bitter end.
And it's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
And super out of left field. So, basically, Leo is speaking with a buddy of his from the Air Force. Mm-hmm. From way back in the day.
Yes.
And this guy was his, like, wing commander or something during the Vietnam War. Yeah. And they're talking about the U.S.'s future stance in the War Crimes Tribunal. Yeah. And he tells him that the mission that he sent Leo on during the war was actually a civilian target.
And Leo did not know that at all. Was not aware of that.
Yeah, you, like, watch the camera, like...
Watch his face completely.
Zoom in on it. And you're just like... He's like, why did you tell me that? Mm-hmm. That's the worst thing that you could ever tell somebody.
Absolutely.
I mean, really.
Well, then he said because you could be tried for war crimes.
Yeah. So
like,
was he trying to just, like, give him a heads up? Like, hey, while Bartlett's campaigning for a new thing, like, this could be dirt that somebody
But then he goes, all war is a crime.
Right.
So it's like, are you just trying to make a point about something?
Yeah.
Are you going to use this against him at some point in time?
It seemed very out of
It was very vague. And it was at the very end, too. It was like they snuck it in, and you were like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, P.S.
What did he say to Leo?
You might be tried for war crimes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
just something to keep on your radar.
Don't forget, hey, happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday. Indeed.
Sunday, rainy Sunday. It was raining the whole episode. Did you notice that too?
I did.
I was thinking, this has nothing to do probably with anything, but they very rarely have, like, rain on any shows.
Well,
and
it's expensive.
It is expensive.
It's not good for the environment.
But they just kept having the rain in the background throughout the whole episode. It's
a little bit of a rainy episode.
It kind of was.
There weren't very many, like, I feel like the levity in this episode was mostly Sam and the Penny. Although there was some football stuff, too.
There was some football stuff, yes.
There was, like, a pool going on, and Sam couldn't figure out who to pick. And then after Toby's nice to Sam and says, like, hey, thanks for being a good deputy, he's like, what, did you, like, win money in the pool today? He's like, yeah, but I still meant the other thing.
Or then when the president and Hoynes were talking in the Oval Office, and Charlie comes in and hands the president a piece of paper right in the middle of a very serious part of their discussion about gun control. And the president looks at the paper and you're like, oh my gosh, did something get bombed? Did something get blown up? Is another child shot in a church? What happened?
Gosh.
And the president, in the middle of a sentence, goes, Green Bay won. Or lost or whatever.
I bet that happens all the time, and some of them are, like, really intense notes, and then some of them are like that. Yeah. Like, hey, your wife wants to see you. Or, you know what I mean?
Chicken for dinner.
Yeah, chicken for dinner. Yeah. And Haiti's on fire.
New episode of, Mindy Project on Hulu.
Ooh, hey, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Well,
Bartlett would love him some Mindy Kaling.
That would be a very interesting. What if she came back as, like, Mandy's role as like a political consultant?
Done.
That would be interesting. Well, I feel like those are most of the things I have. Oh, the random factoids that Sarah and I both found at the same time, which is sad because I really wanted it to be a surprise.
I'm sorry, I totally
to one
ruined
of us.
It. I ruined it. I saw it, I got so excited, I just blurted it out.
I got excited too. Well, the fun fact, hey-o, the fountain at the end of this episode is the very same fountain used in the opening credits of Friends.
I was going to clap right then.
I was just going to clap right now!
Let's do it!
No! No! I contend that there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. No one told you that it's going to be this way.
Okay, fine, there's 4.
Thank you. You're right on the Chinese food. I'm right on the number of claps.
I can see it. I don't know why I questioned you and your knowledge of the claps on
I don't know much.
But
I know I love you. Oh, wow, guys.
Anyone still listening to us right
crickets? Now? Are those crickets I hear?
This is a day
warming
in the life,
up their insect symphony?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't think I have anything else. I think that's all.
I think we covered it.
That is episode 6 of season 3, War Crimes. And if you guys have thoughts or feelings on this episode or any other for that matter, you are welcome to, and in fact encouraged, to send them to us. You can reach us at TheWestWingPodcast@gmail.com, or we're on the Facebooks, the Twitter, the Instagram at Wingin It Pod. Everywhere you can want to be, except for like Snapchat, because
Periscope. Can you imagine we Periscope?
You know what? We might Periscope someday.
I think Periscope would be a cool thing.
I think once we get cast members, we will Periscope.
Hear that, guys?
Did you hear that, guys?
Dulé.
Dulé.
Gonna get you.